It was 4:51 in the morning on July 5th. Most of the neighborhood in Las Vegas was still asleep after celebrating Independence Day. Inside one home, Dana Shabtai, her family, and their neighbors had no idea that a deadly fire was already spreading just a few feet away. Within minutes, their lives would depend on a man they had never met, a man whose name they still do not know. Security camera footage shows a vehicle stopping outside the home just before sunrise. A man quickly stepped out and ran toward the front door. He repeatedly rang the doorbell. He pounded on the door with urgency. Then he shouted one word over and over: fire. Inside the house, Dana was asleep with her family. She later said she had gone to bed only a few hours earlier after asking children across the street to stop setting off fireworks near her home. She believed the celebration had finally ended. Instead, danger had only begun. The loud barking of the family dog woke her first. Then came the constant ringing of the doorbell and the violent knocking on the front door. Still half asleep, she walked toward the entrance without knowing what was happening. The moment she opened the door, the stranger pointed toward the backyard. He did not waste time explaining. He simply shouted that the house was on fire. Dana turned around and looked through the glass doors leading to the backyard. She later described seeing nothing but a solid wall of orange flames. The fire had already spread across the backyard. It was moving quickly toward nearby structures. At that moment, the family realized they had only seconds to react. While Dana grabbed her 14-month-old son, other family members rushed outside. Her sister immediately picked up a garden hose and began trying to slow the flames. The mysterious stranger did not leave. Instead of driving away after warning the family, he ran toward a neighboring property. There, he grabbed another garden hose and began spraying water toward the growing fire. He had no protective equipment. He was not a firefighter. He was simply a passing driver who chose to stop. His quick decision would soon save far more than one family. Meanwhile, Dana ran toward the neighboring house carrying her baby. She began pounding on windows and doors, shouting for everyone inside to wake up. 2 other women joined her. Together, they continued banging on the house until the sleeping family finally came outside. Every minute mattered. The flames continued growing. The fire spread from one backyard to another. By the time emergency crews arrived, the blaze had already caused major damage. But because of those few critical moments, everyone had escaped safely. No lives were lost. No one inside the homes was trapped. And the man who had started everything by stopping his car had quietly disappeared before anyone could even ask his name. Today, investigators are still working to determine exactly how the fire began. The family believes fireworks from the previous night's celebrations may have started a small hidden fire that smoldered for hours before suddenly erupting just before dawn. Officials have not yet announced a final cause. For Dana and her family, however, one fact is beyond dispute. If that stranger had continued driving instead of stopping, they believe they might never have woken up at all. The mystery had only just begun. As firefighters worked to contain the blaze, the family was finally able to take a breath. The danger was slowly coming under control. But another question quickly emerged. Who was the man who had saved them? Family members searched the area, expecting to find him speaking with firefighters or police officers. He was nowhere to be seen. The stranger had disappeared as quietly as he had arrived. Security camera footage became the only clear record of his actions. The video showed him running toward the house without hesitation. He never appeared to panic. He never stopped to think about his own safety. He focused only on getting the family out before the fire trapped them inside. According to Dana, the stranger did much more than knock on the door. After warning the family, he noticed the flames spreading toward neighboring homes. Instead of leaving, he crossed to another property, grabbed a garden hose from the front yard, and began spraying water at the fire. Although a garden hose could never stop a fast-moving house fire, every second counted. His actions helped slow the flames long enough for people to escape and for firefighters to arrive. The family believes those extra moments made a life-changing difference. By then, Dana was carrying her 14-month-old son to safety, while her sister continued fighting the fire with another hose. Other relatives rushed to help neighbors evacuate. People who had been asleep only moments earlier were suddenly standing outside watching flames consume parts of their homes. Some neighbors would later lose large portions of their property. Others were forced to leave their homes because of the damage. Dana's family considered themselves incredibly fortunate. Their home suffered significant damage, especially in the backyard, but they were still able to remain in the house. Not every family on the street was as lucky. As daylight revealed the full extent of the destruction, burned fences, blackened trees, and damaged structures stretched across multiple properties. The fire had spread with remarkable speed. Fire investigators would later examine whether burning debris from fireworks had landed in the area hours before. The family believes a small ember, may have remained hidden through the night before bursting into flames shortly before 5 o'clock in the morning. While authorities continue investigating the official cause, Dana says the lesson is already painfully clear. Fireworks can remain dangerous long after the celebration ends. A single unnoticed spark can become a devastating fire while an entire neighborhood sleeps. But despite all the destruction, one image remained fixed in the family's minds. The stranger. He never asked for recognition. He never waited to be thanked. He never spoke to reporters. He simply disappeared. In a time when security cameras record almost everything, it is remarkable that no one knows who he is. For the family, that mystery has become almost as unforgettable as the fire itself. They believe a complete stranger made a choice that morning to place the lives of others ahead of his own. And because of that choice, children, parents, neighbors, and even family pets all made it out alive. Now they have only one goal: to find the man whose face they know, but whose name remains a mystery. In the days after the fire, the Shabtai family could not stop thinking about the man who had saved their lives. Every conversation returned to the same question. Who was he? They reviewed every second of their security camera footage, hoping to find another clue. The cameras clearly captured his actions. He parked his vehicle. He rushed to the front door. He repeatedly rang the doorbell and pounded on the door. He pointed toward the backyard as flames grew larger behind the house. Then he disappeared before emergency crews finished their work. There was no opportunity to thank him. No chance to ask his name. No way to tell him that because of his decision to stop, two families were still alive. Determined to find him, Dana shared the surveillance video on social media. She hoped someone would recognize the man or the vehicle he was driving. Her message quickly spread across the internet. Thousands of people praised the stranger as a true hero. Many viewers were deeply moved by the fact that he had expected nothing in return. Some believed he was simply an ordinary person who happened to be driving home after the Independence Day celebrations. Others wondered if he might have had emergency response experience because of how quickly he reacted. But there has been no evidence to support that theory. As of now, his identity remains unknown. During interviews, Dana spoke directly to the man she hopes will one day see her message. She said he did not have to stop. He could have assumed that someone else had already called for help. He could have driven away without anyone ever knowing he had been there. Instead, he chose to act. She thanked him for risking his own safety to wake complete strangers. She believes he saved not only her family, but also the neighbors who were still asleep as the fire spread. Her gratitude has inspired many people across the country. The story has become a reminder that acts of courage often happen without cameras, awards, or public recognition. True heroes do not always wear uniforms. Sometimes they are simply ordinary people who refuse to ignore someone else's emergency. The fire itself caused serious damage. Backyards were destroyed. Fences collapsed. Trees were burned. Several homes suffered significant property loss. Some neighbors were forced to leave while repairs began. Yet everyone who escaped that morning shared one thing in common. They were given a second chance because one passing driver decided that someone else's life mattered more than his schedule. The family says they will never stop searching until they have the opportunity to thank him face to face. Even if he never comes forward, they hope he knows that his actions changed countless lives forever. For them, he will always be remembered as the mystery hero who appeared at exactly the right moment and disappeared before anyone could even learn his name. While the search for the mystery hero continues, investigators are still working to determine the official cause of the fire. No final determination has been released. However, the Shabtai family believes the blaze likely began with fireworks set off during the Independence Day celebrations the night before. According to Dana, she had asked children in the neighborhood to stop lighting fireworks near the homes before everyone went to bed. Later that evening, she noticed what appeared to be burning debris landing near a neighboring property. At the time, nothing seemed unusual. There were no visible flames. Everything looked calm. But experts have long warned that fireworks can remain dangerous even after they appear to burn out. A small ember can continue smoldering for hours inside dry grass, wooden fences, landscaping, or outdoor furniture before suddenly igniting into a fast-moving fire. If that is what happened here, the fire may have been silently growing while everyone in the neighborhood was asleep. By the time the flames became visible, they had already spread across multiple backyards. The family believes that without the stranger's warning, they might not have awakened until it was too late. Their experience has sparked an important conversation about fire safety during holiday celebrations. Every year, fireworks cause thousands of fires across the United States. Many begin after celebrations have ended, when people assume the danger has already passed. Fire officials regularly remind homeowners to soak used fireworks completely, monitor outdoor areas for hidden embers, and report any signs of smoke immediately. For Dana, the greatest lesson from that morning has nothing to do with property damage. It is about compassion. One stranger saw a dangerous situation. He did not assume someone else would help. He did not keep driving. He stopped. He acted. And because of that decision, parents, children, neighbors, and family pets all survived. His name may never become public. He may never receive an award. He may never even know how many lives he changed that morning. But for the families who were sleeping inside those homes, he will always be remembered as the person who arrived at exactly the right moment. Sometimes the greatest acts of heroism are never planned. They happen in a single instant when an ordinary person chooses courage instead of convenience. Perhaps that is why this story has touched so many people. It reminds us that heroes are often ordinary individuals who make extraordinary decisions when someone else needs them most. If the mystery hero is watching this video, the Shabtai family has one simple message. Thank you. You did not just save a house. You saved families. You saved futures. And you proved that one person's decision can change countless lives forever. As investigators continue searching for answers about the fire, another mystery remains. Who was the man who refused to drive away? Perhaps one day that question will finally be answered. Until then, he remains the mystery hero of Las Vegas.